Hello and a very warm welcome to yet another fascinating edition of the program CSE Weekly, a weekly program that keeps you abreast on the activities and achievements of the Corporate Affairs Commission. My name is Rashid Mahi. Coming up, we provide insight on the statutory meeting of PLCs, how to register a business name on your own, plus a guide on the registration of an NGO, religious body, association, or club. We will be right back. Hello there, it's a brand new quota, and your favorite program, CSE Weekly, is about to unveil new innovations fresh from the Nigerian Companies Registry. Have you heard of the Extensible Business Reporting Language XBRL standard for filing of electronic financial statements? Do you know that there's so much you can do on your own on the company's registration portal from the comfort of your home or office? The CRP offers, amongst others, end-to-end electronic registration solution for accredited customers and the general public to initiate and complete pre-registration and post-registration applications electronically. Online filing of annual return, online registration of limited liability partnership and limited partnership. See you there. Welcome back. We start off with registration matters. Are you a small business owner and desirous of registering your business on your own with the Commission? Now take a look at this simple guide to achieving your registration.
Business name registration. Now that we have reserved the name, let's now proceed to register the business. Step 1. On your dashboard, click on the Reserve panel. This would bring up your approval history. Step 2. Click on the Start Registration button beside your approved name. Step 3. Under Business Details, enter your business details and click on Save and Continue. Step 4. Under Particulars of Proprietors, enter the particulars of each proprietor and click on Add Particulars of Proprietor button, then click on Save and Continue. Step 5. Under Nature of Business, enter the nature of business and describe the business by filling in the Other Nature of Business description box and click Add Nature of Business button to add, then click the Save and Continue button to proceed. Ensure you fill in all fields marked with a red asterisk. Step 6. Under Document Upload, scan the means of identification you chose in Step 4 and upload it by clicking the Upload button. Upload the scanned versions of your signature and passport photograph. Click on Save and Continue to preview your entries. Step 7. When you have verified your entries, click on Proceed to Payment to pay for your registration. Remember to remain on the remitter page after you have received a confirmation of payment. You will be automatically redirected to your dashboard where you can download your receipt. When your registration has been approved, your certificate will be automatically generated on your registered panel where you can download and print it. Phase 3, Part 2, Company Registration. To begin, reserve the company name that you intend to register and then proceed to click on Start Registration to begin. Step 1. Enter the details of the company. Click on Save and Continue. Step 2. Add the objects of the company. Click on Save and Continue. Step 3. Under Articles of Association, you can either create your own Articles of Association or simply adopt the default Articles of Association provided. You can also edit each part of the default Articles of Association to fit your company's purpose. Click on Save and Continue. Step 4. On the Directors, enter the details of at least one director. If you want to hide your residential address from public record, click on the Hide Residential Address from Public Record toggle button. Click on Save and Continue. Step 5. Under Secretary, this requirement is optional for small companies and you may skip the step by clicking on the Click Here link button to proceed. However, if you wish to add a secretary, click on the Add Secretary button, enter the details of the secretary, and click on Save and Continue. Step 6. Under Statement of Issued Share Capital, add the share details and enter details of proprietor and click on Save and Continue. Note, you must allot the entire issued share capital. Step 7. On the Persons with Significant Control, enter the particulars of the person with significant control of the company. Step 8. Under Statement of Compliance, if you are an applicant or an accredited agent other than a legal practitioner, fill in your details and click on Save and Continue, or you can skip this step. Under Document Upload, scan and upload all the documents labeled Yes under the If Required column, and where the documents labeled Optional applies to you, please scan and upload to avoid a query on your application. Click on Save and Continue to preview. Step 9. Preview your entries, and if satisfied, click on the Proceed to Payment in order to make payment. Remember to remain on the remitter page after you have received a confirmation of payment. Step 11. After payment, you will be redirected to your dashboard where you will make payment for your stamp duty. After making payment, your application will enter the pending panel on your dashboard under registration. When your registration has been approved, your certificate will be automatically generated on your registered panel where you can download and print it.
Wow, so easy. Hurry now to www.csc.gov.ng to register your business. Let's now show you how to also register an NGO, association, club, or any religious organization via the CAC website.
Registration of an incorporated trustee on the new CAC registration portal. In this video, you will learn how to register an association or incorporated trustee with the Corporate Affairs Commission. Let's begin. Step 1. Log on to pre.cac.gov.ng and log into your portal. If you do not have an account, click on Register on the top right corner of your screen to create an account. Step 2. On your dashboard, click on New Name Reservation. Pick Incorporated Trustees under Classification. Enter your proposed names. Pick New Incorporation as your reason for availability search. Click on Apply for Reservation Code button. This will bring up the reservation code application process page. Step 3. Pick the classification of your association 1 and 2 and describe the association's classification. Ensure you fill all fields marked with a red asterisk and click on Save and Continue. Step 4. On the Constitution, specify the minimum or maximum number of trustees. Set the trustee tenure. Choose the custodian of the common seal. Choose the governing body of the association. State the application of funds. State how the account of the incorporated trustee will be kept, then click on Save and Continue. Step 5. Under Aims and Objectives, click on the Add Aims/Objectives button and state the aims or objectives of the association. Click the Add button, then click on Save and Continue. Step 6. On the Trustee, you must add at least 2 trustees or more to proceed, and ensure you add a secretary to the body of trustees. To add a secretary, pick and fill in the details of your designated secretary or a trustee who will also act as a secretary. If the secretary is a designated secretary only, click the box labeled Add as a Secretary Only after filling in the secretary's details. If a trustee will be acting as secretary, click the box labeled Add both trustee and secretary and click on Add Trustee, and then click on Save and Continue. If you wish to hide the residential address of any of the trustees, click on the Hide Residential Address toggle button. Ensure you fill all fields marked with a red asterisk and click on Save and Continue. Step 7. Under Document Upload, if there are supporting documents which will facilitate your application for a reservation code, scan and upload here. Then click on Save and Continue to preview. Preview your entries, and if satisfied, click on Save and Continue to proceed to payment. You can now proceed to make a newspaper publication in at least one national daily and at least one local newspaper in local circulation in the locality where the association will be registered. Obtain and keep the hard copies of those publications. Registration. After your application for consent has been approved, log on to your dashboard and click on the reserved panel. Click the Start Registration button beside your reserved name. Step 1. Under Meetings, you can add different types of meetings and specify the quorum for each. Add your meetings and click on Save and Continue. Step 2. Under Source of Income, add the sources of income of the association and click Save and Continue. Step 3. Under Publications, fill in the details of the first and second newspaper publications you made and click on Save and Continue. Step 4. On the document upload, scan and upload the document labeled Yes, and where the document labeled Optional applies to you, scan and upload, then click Save and Continue to preview. Preview your entries, and if satisfied, click on Save and Continue to proceed to payment. When your registration has been approved, your certificate will be automatically generated on your registered panel, where you can download and print it.
It's so easy too, so don't be left out. Hurry now to www.csc.gov.ng to realize your dream. Now moving on to KAMA 2020, alias the Game Changer, to talk about a public limited company, PLC. Now bizspace.co.uk defines PLC as a business that is legally allowed to sell its shares to the public. It adds that similar to a private limited company, LTD, the members of a PLC have limited liability. They are not responsible for the company's debts unless they have given personal guarantees or any business loans. For more on this, as captured in the provisions of KAMA 2020, let's join Justin Nidabirao, CSC's Director of Compliance. Sit back, relax, and enjoy watching.
Mr. Nidia Justin Barrow, many thanks for joining us again on the program.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Today we're looking at statutory meeting for PLC. That's the public limited liability companies.
Yes, correct.
Okay. All right. They already know they must have meetings. So why are we putting statutory again?
Well, it's been described as statutory because that is prescribed in the law.
Okay.
And specifically for public limited liability companies. And the law also says that it must hold within a period of 6 months from date of incorporation of companies.
Is their own different from other companies? Their own kind of meetings?
Yes, that's why it is called statutory, because like unlike the other ones, like annual general meetings or extraordinary general meetings, for instance, this statutory meeting, like we said, is required to be held within 6 months from date of incorporation. And not only that, it also provides for subject matters that will be thrashed out at that meeting. Yes.
Okay. What are some of the key things that people look out for during these meetings?
Well, because public companies occupies a rather different platform from the private limited liability companies, it is expected that particularly where a large number of people have bought into the shares of the company, that those responsible or that would be responsible for managing the company would properly account for the money that has been collected and what it has been used for. Yes.
Okay. I also understand that they have to review and discuss, statutory information.
Yes. The law says that there should be a statutory report.
Okay.
And what is expected to feature in the statutory report is basically information about what is considered as flotation of the company.
Okay.
And the flotation of the company usually deals with issues like how many people subscribe to the shares of the company, whether the shares themselves were issued at what is called par value or at a premium. And then you look at how much have been raised. Then you look at, like we also previously mentioned in our discussions, what amount has been spent either to pay professionals, like those who register the company, or those who have rendered professional services. And if maybe the public company raise capital through the capital market, then you are also looking at how much has gone to issuing houses and other professionals that were engaged to raise capital for the company. So these are the things that will feature in the statutory report. It's basically what is considered as stewardship accounting for how much has been raised and how much have been expended.
The annual meetings these companies hold, annually, to give reports of their financial year and to also share profits, as they do to their, subscribers in terms of extra shares or extra money. What category does that fall into?
Well, the statutory meeting, like we said, is not the annual general meeting. It is usually at the annual general meeting that dividends are declared. That is, if the company has traded in the past 1 year and has made profit, and the directors have, at their previous meeting, reviewed the profit and come to a decision that there will be need to pay dividend, then they will recommend to the annual general meeting that a dividend be declared. So the statutory meeting, unlike the annual general meeting, does not declare dividend for the reason that you will note that the company has, within that period, has not even met
any profit.
The qualification for one financial year. Because we said it should hold within 6 months. So basically, at that time, it's not expected that a company should have made enough profit to declare dividend.
Who checks the amount of profit these companies make and the dividend they decide to issue out?
Well, basically, it's the directors. That's the responsibility of the directors. But it is expected that the directors themselves would be advised by those that are in charge of finances.
Are there also external bodies
that determines?
Yes, that check.
No, usually that's why we say that auditors, external auditors, after the company's finances are audited by the firm of external auditors, usually the board looks at the financial performance of the company for the past 1 year. And looking at the company, the performances, how much revenue came in, how much expenses were made, what is the amount of what we call profit before tax, then what is the amount of tax, then when you remove the amount of tax, what is the profit after tax, because the dividend is supposed to be declared on profit after tax. So it's primarily the responsibility of the board to decide these factors. Then the auditors will also look at it to say that if they pay the dividend, that will not jeopardize the future operations of the company. So different levels of checks and balances are made before a dividend is declared.
I'm asking because sometimes the dividends declared is not what exactly that happened behind the scene. Maybe you have more profit behind the scene or less profit behind the scene.
No, for more, let's take the latter one, the situation where a company has more profit.
And declares little.
It's not the requirement that all the profit that were made
Okay.
within that.
So there's a certain percentage.
There is a certain percentage, and that percentage is usually decided by the board.
Okay.
And what is examined usually is what is called sustainability.
Okay.
And there is a provision always to establish what is called profit fund, where excess profit that is supposed to go to dividend is actually put aside for the company. Technically, is considered as shareholders fund.
Okay.
Yes. So a company at any given point in time is not obliged to pay out the entire profit that it makes in a year to shareholders.
Okay. The factors that we discussed before now, do they also apply here in terms of pre-incorporation contracts, appointment of MDs, chairmen, and all of that? Does it also apply here?
Not some of them do.
Okay.
Some of them do, but not all of them.
Okay.
Because the statutory meeting is a meeting of shareholders, not those of directors. So to that extent, there are slightly differences.
But the shareholders determine their chairman, isn't it?
No, there is no chairman for shareholders. But there is a chairman of the board.
Okay.
What we have in practice is that we have shareholder associations. Particularly,
Now, what I'm asking is that the shareholders have a say who becomes the chairman of the company, don't they?
They have a say in who becomes a director.
Okay, not who becomes a chairman.
Not who becomes a chairman.
So that is out of their control.
The directors are supposed to elect their own chairman.
Okay.
Yes.
So what is the criteria for directors when it comes to PLC?
Well, the criteria is the same for any other directors.
Okay.
Yes.
That would be a fine place to leave it. Thank you very much indeed for your time, sir.
Thank you very much.
Well done, Mr. Justin, for that wonderful insight. And do you know that by the provisions of Section 421, subsection 1 of the CAMA 2020, the annual return of a company limited by shares or guarantee or unlimited shall be completed, signed, and delivered to the Corporate Affairs Commission not later than 42 days after the annual general meeting for the year. So have you updated your records with the CAC? Well done if you have. And if you have yet to do that, please hurry now to www.cac.gov.ng to file your return to avoid being struck off.
Attention, business owners. Did you know that failing to file your annual return can put your company at risk? In Nigeria, the Company and Allied Matters Act 2020 requires all registered entities to submit their annual return to the Corporate Affairs Commission (CAC) or face serious consequences. The listing, striking off the CAC register, these are not just empty threats. They are real risks that can strip you of your business license, cutting off access to government activities, support, subventions, and crucial post-incorporation services. The law is clear. Annual returns are mandatory for the continued recognition of your business as a legal entity. Act now. Good news! Filing your annual return has never been easier. Introducing the CAC online portal, your convenient, efficient, and accessible solution to fulfill your annual return obligations. File your annual return online through the CAC portal today. CAC, committed to prompt and efficient service.
The CAC remains committed to working hard to provide prompt and efficient service to the customers in line with global best practices. And that does it for this week's edition of the program CAC Weekly. We do hope you enjoyed watching. For comments and inquiries, please take advantage of our social media handles and helpline. On Instagram, the address is Corporate Affairs Commission. On Facebook, is Corporate Affairs Commission. On X, formerly Twitter, we are at CSC Nigeria 1. Our email address is cservice@csc.gov.ng. Website address is www.csc.gov.ng. Our call center number is 070-8062-9000. Do join us next week for another interesting edition of the program, same time, same station. From me, Rashid Mahe, and the whole team is bye for now.